Alright guys, welcome back. We're going to do another imaginary I problem. I'm going to put the problem on the board right now. It's going to be the square root, this isn't problem 1, this is problem 2. And it is going to be square root of negative 1/2. Alright, so if you want to go ahead and work this out on your own, go ahead and pause now. If not, stick around and we'll start to solve it. It shouldn't be too difficult, but it's kind of an interesting problem. I actually think this is a good one for practice. So let's go ahead and start working this out. So we're going to go square root, or write our radical symbol. We're going to put 1/2 in parentheses, and we are going to put negative 1 in parentheses here. So we have square root of negative 1/2 times negative 1, and that is of the form square root m times negative 1. And again, that's in the other video. It explains what we mean by that. If you haven't already watched that video, go ahead and look it up. It's on the playlist as m times negative 1. All right. Here we go. Alright, so what is square root of negative 1? Right? Here's the square root symbol, here's the negative 1. Right? Square root negative 1 equals I, right? So we can rewrite this as, let me switch back to blue, is equal to the square root of 1/2 right, I, right, times I. Does that make sense? And well, to be fair, I did skip a step that I normally do, and I'll put it, and I'm actually going to put that in red since I skipped it. Alright, it's, we normally square root 1/2, right, times square root negative 1. And all I'm doing when I do this step is just reaffirming to you what's happening, how we're getting to square root 1/2 I. Okay. So at any rate, here's where we are in the solve, and we notice that we started out with the square root of negative 1/2. We don't want to forget where we started. Okay, and so we see that that just simply becomes I. So here we go. So just like when we have a multiplication problem in the radicand, or a number in the radicand, we factor it out into multiplication in order to apply the radical more easily, right? And again, this radical has a index root of 2, right? So we can do the same thing with division, but we rewrite the fraction in such a way that we can find a component of the fraction that is, in this case, squareable. Okay, so what's an equivalent fraction of 1/2 where the denominator is squareable? Let's say 2/4. Right? Let's say 2/4 I. Right? And now we can apply that index root, or that principal root, to this aspect of the radicand right here, the 4. And we pull that out, and what do we end up with? We have a square root of 2i, right? So we still have this 2i in the radicand position, don't we? And we've applied the square root to that 4, that denominator, right? We still have to have that 2i divide by whatever's left, right? After we apply that square root, what's left? 2. So that becomes our denominator here. We still have to have the square root of 2i divided by whatever's left there. And in this case, that's 2. So our final answer is square root of 2i over 2. All right? Cheers.